Hi, this is AP Steadman with AP as we see it live here in New Orleans at Super Bowl 59. We have a very special guest, and she's going to introduce herself.
Yeah, it's Breland Moore from Fox 29 in Philadelphia. So I've covered the Eagles for 4 years, and I covered the Chiefs 2 years before that.
Distinct advantage being at the Super Bowl.
Absolutely,
both
yeah.
cities. How's that helped you?
It's helped a lot because even though there's been some turnover with both teams, of course, when I covered the Chiefs in 54 and 55, your main players are still there. Your Patrick Mahomes, your Travis Kelce, your Chris Jones. Even though guys like Tyreek Hill, etc., have not continued to be there, yeah. But same thing here. So it's kind of nice to already know the matchup ahead of time and know the familiar key players as you're going into this. You still got to do a little bit of research, but it definitely helps.
Looking at football teams, you're always evaluating the quarterback. So you Patrick Mahomes and you Jalen Hurts?
Yes.
What do you like to tell people about football?
Jalen Hurts, I think, is one of the most underrated players in the National Football League. He gets a lot of criticism, but I think the main thing, and we've seen that play out, and we've seen how important this is, he takes care of the football. He doesn't turn the ball over. He doesn't do unnecessary things to get the flashy play. He doesn't have to play hero ball, especially in this offense. You have a stacked offense with so many different weapons. He doesn't have to have that Josh Allen style, Joe Burrow style game. He can just take care of the football and take care of those fundamentals, and he is fine. I think he's a really, really great quarterback when it comes to that stuff. Patrick Mahomes, on the other hand, I always tell people I've never in my life seen someone see space that way. I've never in my life been able to watch somebody live week in and week out do the things that he's able to do. Sometimes you just look at him and you're like, oh my gosh, how you are not human. The way that you see things and the plays that you make, he is a generational talent, and it's an honor to watch him, especially right off the heels of Tom Brady. You get another one right there, and clearly his resume speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Breland, just look at the offense for Philadelphia. 2 good receivers, tight end, quarterback. You spoke about Jalen Hurts. Saquon Barkley, in addition, 2,000 plus yards. What do they need to do on Sunday to be competitive and win this ball in Philadelphia?
I think it starts with the offensive line, right? And that's been the strength this entire time. Saquon would not have that 2,000-yard season without that offensive line and the dominance that they're able to inflict on a game. So it starts there. Those guys need to be solid. Again, be fundamentally strong, take care of the football, play the way that you know how to play. This Chiefs defense, I mean, a lot of people look at the offense and think it's high-powered, but what Steve Spagnuolo has been able to do with this Chiefs defense is really, really impressive. And of course, Chris Jones, again, is just the anchor of it all and is a phenomenal player in his own right. So I think it starts with the line, but then do what you've been doing this entire time. You would not be here if you didn't play good football. But I think the key thing, again, fundamentally sound. Do not make mistakes. This is a team that if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile and a half. So you have to play fundamentally sound, and Jalen's been doing a phenomenal job of that. I think he can do the same on Sunday.
How Philadelphia fared against the dual threat quarterback? Well, he's extraordinary dual threat quarterback.
Yeah. Well, we've seen a couple of them throughout the course of this season. You watched the NFC Championship against Jaden Daniels, and you saw how that turned out. Lamar Jackson, another one, and you saw how that turned out. So they do have a pretty solid record, and I think that this defense has been suspect throughout its history, but coming in, that was the biggest question mark, I think, for everybody, and that's why I call it suspect, is because we didn't know what to expect out of these guys coming into this season. Whole new coordinator. Who is Zach Bond? And now he's nominated for Defensive Player of the Year, you know what I mean? But those are the questions that we were asking coming in. Is Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell, are they up for the challenge? Right. And now look at the two of those, those rookies just exploding on the scene. The linebackers are really solid, and even with the absence of Nakobe Dean, who was a huge piece of this, both on and off the field, Oren Burks has really stepped up. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. we maybe could see in there as well, and I think this defense is playing at such a high level that starts with defensive coordinator Vic Fangio and what he was able to implement all the way back in the spring. They just, again, fundamentally sound, do the things that you've been doing all year long, and I think that they will fare well against any quarterback, including Patrick Mahomes.
The special teams, the return game, and the kicking and the punting.
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. Jake Elliott has had his moments. That being said, it hasn't cost them so far. So again, I hope that he stays fundamentally sound. I think that's the entire theme of this is fundamentals. It's a core value for this Eagles team. They have 5 core values, and that's one of them. As long, honestly, let's not let it get to kicking at this point.
Leave no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. Just go for the touchdowns and don't even go that option and leave it up to a errant field goal or whatnot. Run it through Saquon Barkley, and hopefully he'll be able to do what he does best.
I always tell people about kickers, they can miss 15 in a row that day, that moment.
Oh yeah, and Jake has had a little bit of an off for him season, but he's still clutch when it counts, and hopefully that continues and translates well into Sunday.
Any predictions?
Ooh, I've been trying to stay away from this. No matter what, I think it's going to be dogfight. These are two really talented teams. The people who are saying this is a blowout, the people who are just automatically handing this to the Chiefs, I don't know if they haven't watched the Eagles this year. I don't know what's going on. I find it really, really difficult to believe that this is going to be some sort of shootout and blowout either way.
Yes.
Close game, down to the wire, dogfight, and we'll be on the edge of our seats the entire time. And hopefully, at least for Philadelphia, Patrick Mahomes doesn't do we have time to run wasp or whatever he's capable of doing, because we don't need to see any of that.
No. Hey, check out Breland Fox, Philadelphia. We want to thank her so much as AP Stedham with AP as we see it live from New Orleans, Super Bowl 59. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Cool.